What's going on, guys? Chuck in
Chris.
here, and it's just a quick video, hopefully. Just the reaction on us is we just finished watching 1993's Super Mario Brothers. Of course, this is the big set I talked about previously from Umbrella. This huge set. This is the actual 1-up edition. This is the second version of this.
Yeah, second though.
Yeah, because the first version was the Trust the Fungus.
Right.
Which was the same stuff, but was limited, and it sold out so fast that Umbrella decided, well, let's give other people a chance to get it, so they put out a second release. Luckily enough, I was able to get it. I was really excited to show this to Chris, because he's a huge Super Mario Brothers fan. And plus myself, I have not seen this, honestly, since 1993, when I saw it at the drive-in. That's like the one and only time I think I've ever seen this movie complete. So this is the first time I watched it. It's like a big rewatch for me. But I especially wanted to get Chris' thoughts on it, since, like I said, he knows. Obviously, this is pre-All Mario, so this is like 93. So only we talked about it earlier.
Only up to like Super Mario Bros. Land, Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, or Game Boy.
Yeah, so that's like only 4 or 5 games.
Not really that many.
Just after, I think that's Super Nintendo had just come out, I believe. At this point, or not but a year. So this is way before now. Not long after that, about a year or two after that, they got the 64. Super Mario 64 came out, and everything else that's been out to this different consoles and platforms. So this predates all that. But I wanted to get Chris's thoughts on it and what he would think about. You talked about, he knows the reputation of this film, which isn't good. The reputation, and people trash it, which a lot of people were surprised that Umbrella gave this super duper a treatment to this movie. But we'll get to that in a second. So let's just get right to it. Chris, what are your thoughts on Super Mario Bros.
I don't care what people say. That is such a good movie. Even it's something I would definitely rewatch again. It's funny. The action's really good, and acting too.
Yeah, I gotta admit, actually, I had a lot of fun with it. It was very enjoyable. I think it's aged well. I mean, 35 years later, looking back at it, I had a lot of fun with it. I mean, obviously, it's not, video game accurate. But again, you look at the time, 1993, people were, studios, Hollywood was afraid to really jump in and embrace, video game accuracy, comic book accuracy. Look, we're with like for comic books, for instance, at this time we're just now the last few years have started getting to embracing the comic accuracy of comics and stuff like that. And before we want to make it real because people won't understand. That's kind of what they did with Mario Brothers. They took a fantastic situation, which obviously, I get. I mean, the video game is about a guy going through pipes, fighting turtles and dinosaurs, and it's weird. How you make this real life? So they got to tweak it as best they can. Yeah. And with limited technology of 1993, which actually we talked about, the effects were actually pretty good. Yeah. The dinosaur effects, the Yoshi, the stop motion. This is like right around Jurassic Park had just come out, so it started early. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo were good. Samantha Mathis, which I don't know what happened to her. She was really popular for a while. I don't know. She just vanished.
That's me. I don't know this stuff.
Dennis Hopper, who was Koopa, he was really good. And what I was really surprised that Lance Henriksen had a cameo as the Mushroom King. Yeah, it came out. I was like, holy crap, Lance Henriksen. He'll do anything. But no, it really was a lot of fun. I mean, I think, again, looking back at it 35 years later, you can enjoy this film. At the time, I can see why it was disappointing.
Yeah, because it wasn't, video game accurate.
Yeah, people were expecting so much, but
the bar was set pretty high.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do with a video game in 1993? You can only do so much. But I think what they did actually, works for the most part.
Yeah.
If you just take away your preconceptions going in.
Yeah, just take away your expectations, and then boom, it's such a good film.
Yeah, and it's obviously it's played toward kids and to a younger audience, and that's what, again, Chris is 13. I think really that's the demographic you're probably going to go for. The video game kids at that time, 13, who would love that stuff. I mean, I could see, like Chris said, some people you watch over. I can see that it's just fun. It's nothing dark and brooding about it. There's, it's just a silly, good, fun, enjoyable movie. It's a family friendly. Um, yeah, it's
Mhm.
yeah, that's all I can say.
Yeah.
There were a couple of things in there I thought was that Chris brought up. He knows were like comparisons. Obviously, the de-evolving guns that they
Yeah.
use, I didn't realize this, but he was like they were basically like the what would you
The
call
super
them?
scopes
Super scope, rifle.
for the well, I think it was the SNES or the NES.
Mhm.
I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah, so I didn't even catch that, but he's right. And then he was talking about how the city reminds you of something like
It's right. It just reminded me how it was modeled. I wanted to think it was like an inspiration for New Donk City in Super Mario Odyssey, despite knowing the fact that New Donk City was actually more modeled towards New York. But also technically, as we look at like the Mushroom Kingdom, that's also like an inversion of Brooklyn, which is New York. As
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That in the movie, that's the whole point. They're like an alternate dimension. It's
yeah,
basically it's so that I thought that was really interesting, and that's something that wouldn't make sense. If you have people who are making these video games, maybe they have a soft spot for this film, and it's like, hey, let's put this in here, and everyone forgot, no one will think about it, and that's kind of cool. And
yeah,
we talked about it, which he doesn't know this, but there is in this Satan No Game, this book here, all kinds of behind the scenes, art stuff. There's so much stuff. There's so much stuff in here. The scripts. My gosh, there's like a magazine, like the movie magazine, a reprint of what came out when the movie first was put out. At least news all the time, with ads. It's a total for video games at the time and just making of the movie. So much good stuff in here. This is, I mean, hold that. That's a heavy box.
yeah.
That's some heft.
It says something right here.
Yeah, there's a lot. And again, also the movie putting in looked and sounded beautiful. I was amazed with the sound of this thing. It said like 2.0. This thing was surround. It was really good. It was a good looking sound. Picture was great. Yeah, it was blasted. I mean, I didn't got into the extras. I just watched the movie and I saw the two trailers on there. There's some outtakes I haven't get a chance to look at, but it was awesome. So, any final thoughts on Super Mario Brothers 1993?
I'll be saying, as you said about expectations being pretty high at the time, knowing the facts about the reputation, I just took away my expectations, knowing how bad it was technically going to be and not really accurate. And with that, I found how enjoyable it could be. So maybe if you do that, then you could also find your love in this movie too.
That's a very good point. You're right, because in 1993, everybody's coming. It was so hyped up. Everybody came in with so huge expectations of what this was going to be. Mario Bros. Is huge, and you're let down by that. You go in there, he's coming there knowing the history. He's seen like YouTube videos, documenting the making of what happened. So all you hear is this movie is so bad, it's so awful. So you go and think, what is can't be good? And you watch it, and you enjoy it because you're like, it's a lot better than it's given credit for. It really is. I don't think it deserves. Looking back at it 35 years later, it does not deserve the reputation that it has. So I'm really glad that Umbrella, did this so people can introduce themselves to this really fun movie. Again, case in point, Chris never seeing it. This is a great way to see it and really reevaluate and see, hey, you know what, this movie is actually much better than it's been given credit for. So yes, kudos. If you haven't seen Super Mario Bros., if you've heard only bad things about it, I don't want to check it out. Forget all that. Let it go. Have fun with it. Fantastic movie. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Or Chris, usually 10 thumbs up. I don't know. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. 10 pogos out of 5. It's 5 out
10 mushrooms out of 10 mushrooms. I will say, actually, on that point, well, they did a lot of cool stuff with the, referencing the game, like the Bob-omb and the Bullet Bill things.
Yeah, Bullet Bill, but actually, I guess it was actually I think it was modeled like painted as a bonsai bill, but again, it was supposed to be a bullet bill. I don't know if me being technical.
It was a bullet with a face on it, that's all I know.
Yeah.
And the Bob-omb that just walked for like a half a mile with this little short fuse, which was hilarious. And he had a pair of Reeboks on. That was hilarious to me.
It was made in the UK.
Well, especially if everybody knows, at the time, Reeboks was everywhere. That was huge. So I found it funny. It's between that and then the Lance Henriksen cameo. But what I was kind of disappointed is that the whole fungus thing and Mario getting the mushroom. I was kind of disappointed that he didn't like get really big. Like Magic the Turning. I thought they were going because I had not seen him since '93. I totally forgot. But when he got the mushroom, spoiler alert, when they were trans back to Earth before they went back, when the whole emergence stopped, it looked like you saw when they were doing the whole Thanos thing because they just totally disappeared like a Thanos snap, and it was really it's like Marvel, you hacks. But if you notice when they were going back, it looked like Mario's actually grew a bit. So I was like, oh, he was actually, come back as Super Mario. And really, that didn't happen. I was disappointed. I wanted to, and they kept showing close-ups of Bob Hoskins. I wait for a pull-back reveal that he was actually really giant. He grew into Super Mario. That didn't happen. I was disappointed. I was also disappointed they didn't get like a flower that was like they just threw fire with or something.
Yeah.
Some kind of fire flower, something in homage to that.
Yeah.
So those are things Too bad.
Sure, there are some missed opportunities, but overall, those are just little nitpicky things.
Yeah, and again, I figure they found a way with the jumping with those little boots. They could have done something with.
Called thwomps.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called, but they have those little jumper boots, whatever they were. But you give them the idea of the jumping. So maybe break a few more bricks, jump on the Goombas. I call it the Goombas.
Oh yeah.
I got to admit. Looking back on the history or thinking about it, I saw how silly and goofy they were. Watching it again now, looking at it, I realized actually that the Goomba thing is really good.
Yeah.
Kind of creepy design with those big bodies and those tiny little heads. Granted, they're basically a comedy thing, but the imagery is really disturbing. Those little bitty heads on those big giant bodies. I mean, that was really.
Yeah, it still just a little creeps me out every time I look at it.
It's a little, it's stuff of nightmares. So still questions nightmare feel. But anywho, so I could go on and on. But yes, definitely, revisit it or check it out for the first time. So it's fair to say that the animated film still great. Nothing's going to top, the Peaches song. I'm sorry. That is, I didn't get that and put it in the car in my flash drive because I love that song. But this is a worthy film that, definitely is revisiting. The Super Mario Bros. 1993, still pretty super. So,
really super.
Yeah. Anything left to add?
Why is it Daisy instead of Peach?
That is a good question. I think Daisy was
Daisy was only known in the Super Mario Land series, which was only have 2 games.
I played Super Mario Bros. 1 and 2. I was done.
I haven't played any of the Land games, but I just know it so well.
But I thought it was like Princess Daisy, or maybe she was Daisy.
It was Daisy in the
first one.
But it was Mario who saved him, and not Luigi. But they lost.
Samantha Math is a little young for Bob Hoskins. She's more, John Leguizamo's speed. Which, by the way, I thought it was interesting that John Leguizamo, being a Latino, playing an Italian, but
no. Logic. I think that's them.
But they could have got real lizards to play, Koopa instead of Dennis Hopper. But that's okay. So, okay, that is it for us and Super Mario Brothers. If you enjoyed it, click thumbs up, share, subscribe, leave us a comment below. Let us know if you revisit Super Mario Brothers, what your thoughts are, or just say hi. We'll always say hi. So until next time, this is Chuck and
Chris,
and we will see you on the other side.